Picture, okay lang. Hindi ko makuha yung aking video eh.
Wala kang video.
Malabas yung picture.
For attendees po, ano lang po, voice lang po, videos po para
Oh, for attendees only the voice. Oh, okay. Okay.
For the boys.
Ang the boy, yung yung hindi attendee, yung attendees voice lang.
Oh, yung attendees voice lang. Okay. Okay. Pero bakit hindi ko kayo makita? Nakita ko na si Bioli kanina eh.
Laki ko kasi.
Nagtatago pa kami.
Now I can see you.
Yung voice ko hindi marinig.
Yung bang microphone ko maingay, may parang humihihip na hangin.
wala po, sir.
Okay, kasi sa ibang ano yun ba, I was in another platform, hindi Zoom eh. Parang sobrang sensitive yung mic, naririnig yung electric fan na tumatama sa microphone. Ngayon walang ganong sound.
Wala naman po. Wala po.
Parang nahanginan yung mic ko. Okay.
Wala po naman naririnig.
Oh, blue na, tama na yung blue ko, kaya lang Ateneo.
Okay lang yan.
Ateneo Economics ito eh.
The intent is there to use blue shirt.
Explain to explain mo na lang, you know, why people are seeing a lot of blue.
Okay. We'll start in 4 minutes.
Yeah, lapit na.
Oh,
Para
9 o'clock
makita.
na.
Hindi makinig eh.
We will be starting in 4 minutes.
Ma'am DR, matatandaan mo kung sinong take 1, take 2, take 3 sa amin.
Hindi ako makakita. Asa mo na wala na?
Camera dito. Baka-off.
Ba't na wala?
Hello? Minadali yata ako. Mag-i-start na eh.
Mag-start na.
Nagsimula ako ng 10. Nirapos ako ng 2 o'clock.
Wala. Nag-back the meeting.
Meron ng 38.
Kulang
Ay,
kami.
nag-join.
Pero hindi ako makakita dun. Hindi rin makinig yung boses ko dun.
Naka-mute kayo. Wait. Wait lang ha.
Magkatanan mo nga. Kanina.
Yung camera, tita, may icon yun ng camera at saka ng speaker.
Hindi, dun sa at present, hindi makikita yung mukha ko dun sa dun sa video.
Wala
Pero
yung
dapat makita nila ako.
Hindi naman siya nakamute. Oo.
Nandito na ba si Roger?
Wala pa.
At least daw makikita nila. Pero dapat makita nila ako, marinig nila ako.
Si Roger, baka ako mauna.
Makikita lang.
Oo, unahin na natin si Beda.
Si Ma'am Michelle po
Hindi.
yung need po.
Si Roger nung una, hindi natin si Roger.
No order natin.
Si Roger.
Roger.
Beda, Nathan, and Johnny.
Pwede ka mo rin yan.
You open na.
Kaya lang para hindi ma-crowded yung meeting, naka-ano muna lahat, naka-mute. Yung speaker lang
ang magsasalita.
Dito.
Okay.
Excuse me. Ma'am, pwede po magtanong, sino po yung need po na makita din po yung video from the attendees po? Meron po ba?
Pero daw need din makita yung video.
Tayo, kami.
Yan ang mga, nasan yung type niya? Meron siya.
Pwede bang makita ang lahat?
Ano po?
Gallery.
Pwede
Gallery.
Ay, hindi po. Ano po? I mean, sino po from the attendees yung kailangan po na, I mean, magpapakita po ng video or...
Dapat may icon na.
Speakers lang ang may video. Ay, speakers lang ang may
Panelist lang po kasi yung may option po for video. Attendees po ay boses lang po talaga.
Tapos ng video.
Hindi nila makikita yung slides.
Kung isa po dun sa mga panelists po yung mag-share, makikita po. Makikita po ng attendees po. Lahat ng i-share nyo po.
Kailangan panelist lang mag-share.
One of the...
Pero sabi ni Hati, hindi ko makita ang microphone.
Hindi makita yung slides.
Pero kung need po ni Ma'am Michelle po na may i-share po, pwede ko po siyang gawing panelist. Ilipat ko po siya ng gawin ko po panelist. Si Ma'am Capistrano po.
Bibigay mo na lang sa iyo.
Nakikita yan.
Wait lang po, prinomote ko po siya for panelist. Dapat po mag-enter.
Miss, anong pangalan ni Miss ITC?
Diana po. Ayun po.
Diana, what is important is for the attendees to be able to see the slide presentation of each speaker.
Okay, kaya po. Kaya naman po nila makita. Ayun po. Ayun. Na-elevate ko po si Ma'am Michelle. Balik ko po ba? Balik ko po ba sa
Oh, can we now start?
Sige, alas 3 na.
Okay, 3. Mag-mute na kami, ha?
Yes.
Rin po ako na,
Ana, we'll now start.
Kumain.
Magandang umaga, hapon o gabi sa inyong lahat, saan man kayo naroroon sa mundo. Naway nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan.
Baka kumain.
At this point, may we call on a member of Class 1975 for the invocation, Mrs. Andy Almeida Maestrado.
Good afternoon, everyone, mga kabatchmate. Let us bow our heads and pray for God's blessing. Almighty God, creator of heaven and earth, we praise, honor, and worship you, for you are the God of love, justice, and forgiveness. We thank you for your presence amongst us today. We know you are here with us because you said, whenever 2 or 3 gather in my name, I shall be with them. We are grateful for this opportunity to connect with one another, although virtually, and pursue activities to support the noble aims and goals of our dear alma mater, the UP Los Baños. As we celebrate our Loyalty Day with simplicity, ever mindful of the challenges from this pandemic, you have reminded us of your blessings in our family, friends, and the meaningful lives we continue to live with purpose. We implore, Almighty Father, your mercy and protection for each one of us and our families. Give us strength, endurance, and hope that in your appointed time, this affliction would pass and we shall return to our normal lives. Grant us peace in knowing we are pursuing your purpose for this gathering. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Maraming pong salamat. Magandang araw po muli. Sigan, BSA Major in Statistics, Class 1975. Ako po isang profesor dito sa UP Los Baños at kasalukuyan ay dekano ng College of Arts and Sciences. Sa ngalan po ng UPLB Class 75, kami po ay nagpapasalamat sa UPLB Alumni Alliance na bumubuo ng Loyalty Day Steering Committee sa pagbibigay sa amin ng pagkakataon na itanghal ang webinar na ito. This webinar Day celebration on October 10, 2020. This is a contribution of UPLB Class 75 to the virtual set of a very momentous event in the history of UPLB. We, the members of Class 1975 jubilarians, meaning 45 years ago, matagal na since we graduated from UPLB. For this, chosen to address and articulate on the theme of the Loyalty Day celebration, that is sustaining UPLB Alumni Alliance, which is a very timely theme. As we all know, alumni are important assets of the university. Alumni can help the university in the implementation and realization of its goals and objectives of generating new knowledge, as well as contributing to human capital development and in nation building, among others. As per records of UPLB, Class 1975 is made up of 385 members. Our members are scattered in different regions of the Philippines, as well as in different parts of the world. After graduation from UPLB, a number of us joined government agencies and institutions. private companies, non-governmental organizations, and many others. A few joined the academy, including UPLB, and stayed even up to retirement, just like me and Bioli. We also have a priest, incidentally, in our group after he's in agriculture, he now is a priest in Metro Manila. After 45 years or so, we all would like to reminisce and cherish our good old days and enjoyable days in UPLB. Loyalty Day is just one of these momentous events to commemorate and celebrate our link to the university. Each one of us has our own ways of being connected to UPLB. These ways will be articulated in this webinar. For this activity, we have requested our distinguished members from different regions of the country to be panelists to share their thoughts and ideas on how we can sustain the alliance between the university and its alumni. Yes, we should keep it burning. For this seminar, each panelist will be allocated 12 minutes. Will be an open forum and Q&A portion. This webinar will be moderated by Dr. Cielito Habito, BSA Ag Econ, summa cum laude, and our class valedictorian of class 1970. Without much further ado, may now give the floor to our moderator, Dr. Ciel Habito. Take it away, Ciel.
Maraming salamat, Kabatch Ino. Sa ating mga nanonood at nakikinig ngayon, kung marami kayong nakikitang asul, hindi kayo nagkakamali. Hindi po Ateneo itong forum na ito. Kaya po marami sa amin naka-asul ay ika-45th anniversary ng aming batch, and that is Sapphire anniversary. Kaya blue po ang aming team color for this year. Our theme for this really adapts from the Loyalty Day theme itself, no? The UPLB-Alumni Alliance or partnership, I would rather say, because siguro marami sa atin naririnig natin yung lament na bakit pa ang UP Los Baños, supposedly the science capital, in fact, no, in the minds of many of us of the country. And tayo pa nga ang seat of knowledge in agriculture, especially during the 70s, even 60s, maybe up to the 80s. Tapos bakit nga pa parang napag-iwanan tayo ng mga tinuruan natin sa Thailand, sa Vietnam, Indonesia, na marami tayong mga estudyante galing dyan. No? And to some extent, we can actually attribute yung kagalingan nila kasi ang galing pa rin ng kanilang linkage sa UP Los Baños. Nalalaman ng marami sa atin na pag naglo-Loyalty Day, October 10, yung mga alumni natin sa Thailand, sa Indonesia, sa Vietnam, nagkakasama-sama at talagang pinagdiriwang yung ating Loyalty Day. Sa atin, marami rin mga chapters sa iba-ibang region ng ating bansa na ganun din, nagkakasama-sama. So in that sense, that Los Baños spirit is really so alive in many of us who have graduated from our beloved UP Los Baños. Pero yung ating alliance, yung ating partnership with our alma mater, paano pa nating mapapag-ibayo? Para ang tunay nating mai-assert na ang UP Los Baños ay nakakatulong directly and indirectly to national development. So this afternoon, we have 4 of our batchmates from different parts of the country and essentially different lines of occupation, but of course, sharing the same background in the agricultural education that we got at UP Los Baños. We will have our 4 batchmates speak about this theme of UP Los Baños and Alumni Alliance or partnership in the context of the respective work. So let me scan through. So I'll do just one introduction of everybody so that they can speak tuloy-tuloy na, one by one, no, when their turn comes. Our first sharer, if I may call it that, is our batchmate Roger Dulay Colting, who earned his BSA in Soil Science, of course, in 1975. Nagsimula si Roger sa Ben Press Corporation, working in Negros Occidental. And in fact, I guess he was an Octoberian. Kaya November 1974, nagkatrabaho na siya. And then he moved to Benguet State University. Siguro at that time, MSAC pa siya, yung Mountain State Agricultural College, which subsequently became the BSU, or Benguet State University of today. And at BSU, he pursued his master's and doctorate degrees. While a faculty member there, that is, he pursued his master's and doctorate degrees at UP Los Baños. And rising from the ranks, he eventually became the 4th president of the Benguet State University, and he held office as president for 2 terms, 2003 all the way to 2011, yung kanyang tenure as BSU president. Susunod kay Roger is our old barkada sa LB, si Nicolas Beda Priela Jr., better known to everybody as Beda. And again, he earned his BS Agriculture, major in Agri-Economics, so ka-major ko yan, obviously in 1975 again. Beda, being taller than the usual, is a member of the UPLB basketball varsity team all the way in 1970 to 75. So Beda is currently co-chair of the Regional Development Council in the Region 5, or the Bicol region. And of course, has an illustrious career in the academe and essentially being a practitioner talaga of his agriculture and agricultural economics. After Beda will come Nathaniel Acha, or Nathan, who finished BS Sugar Technology in the summer of 1975. He reviewed and took the Sugar Technology Board exam together with other Sugar Tech graduates in June of 1975, and he had the 2nd highest score. So he acquired his master's in management from AIM, Asian Institute of Management, in 1983, and his career has spanned 40 years working in 6 different sugar milling companies in Negros Occidental. So matamis talaga itong taong ito. Puro asukal ang kanyang professional life, no? He was a very active member of the committee that helped operational and financial rehabilitation of the Victoria's Milling Company, the oldest sugar milling company in the country, in fact, especially during its near-death situation in 1997. So sila yung nag-resurrect or nag-resuscitate. Big Mico, or VMC, started declaring dividends, in fact, and which means it became profitable again in 2007. And Nathan had obviously a hand in that. He also became part-time faculty at De La Salle University in Bacolod. And currently, he is engaged in consultancy services, including helping out a local government, no, in its own local development work. And the last but not least among our classmates sharing their perspectives today is my friend Johnny Sangalang, Juanito Sangalang, who obtained his BSA major in horticulture. Now, he began his career as a research assistant at the UPLB Department of Horticulture, where 13 years later, he was department chair. He obtained his master's degree in 1978 at the University of Birmingham in the United Kingdom, and a doctorate in 1984 from the University of Maryland in the US. So he's been an active practitioner applying his craft, in fact, commercial farming in Mindanao. So he has spent most of his professional life in Mindanao, and where he continues to be serving right now. So he currently serves as a technical consultant for the Philippine Coconut Authority. So as you can see, our classmates will be sharing their perspectives on this theme from the respective areas, no? And we will start, of course, with Roger Colting, who is looking at it from the perspective, I guess, of an education leader, an education administrator. So without further ado, let me now turn our floor to our this esteemed batchmate, Roger Colting, Dr. Roger Colting, I should say. Is he around already? He is, no?
I think Roger is not yet.
Wala pa si Roger.
Maybe we can go with
You may have
Beda.
to proceed to Beda muna kung ganon. Yeah, Beda, you have to step up.
Yes, I will. Mag-screen share lang mamaya kasi I prepared some PowerPoint.
Sige.
But anyway, let me start. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. First and foremost, may I express my gratitude to my class 1975 batchmates, especially to our webinar moderator, Dr. Rogelio, and our host, my Spaleklek Brew, Ino Lansigan, for having me share with you my thoughts on sustaining UPLB Alumni Alliance, highlighting private sector participation in the Bicol Regional Development Council. Before I do so, please allow me for a brief walk back to memory lane. First of all, my student number is 6991141.
This is something that all of us memorize by heart, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're just waiting for Beda's screen, right?
Yes, yes. Hold on.
Hold on.
Okay. Aha, talagang pinlash pa yung ID niya. Okay, Beda, you can unmute yourself.
Here's my memory. I will start. Na-review, Ito makita nyo, can you now see the ID card I had as a student? Student number 6991141. And I'd like to be referred to as a prompting isko who dribbled my way as a batang baker, and sabi nga ni Violi, batang women's, and still got to earn my BS degree in agriculture, major in ag economics. 6 na taon ko rin yung binuno. Well, after graduation, being a Bicolano, I got drafted by my former mentor, the late Ben Gaon, as a research assistant in the UPLB Technical Assistance Group to the Bicol River Basin Council, and served under Dr. Ramon L. Nasol and Dr. Remy Torres. And that paved the way for my more than decade work with the Bicol River Basin Development Program Office. In the Basin Office, it was swarmed with UPLB alumni with the likes of the late Ray Disagon, June Bragais, Ramon Santiago, Nards Dayaw, and Nap Disagon, just to name a few. And they were practically responsible for my interest and engagement in development. Now I'm presently as I'm associated with the RDC, Bicol RDC as co-chair, and the Regional Development Council is the highest policy-making body in the region, sets the direction of physical, economic, and social development, and serves as the counterpart of NADA board in the sub-national level. It is primarily the institution that coordinates and sets the directions of all regional, physical, economic, and social development efforts, and serves as the forum where local development efforts are related and integrated with the national development activities. It's been established as a regional body to oversee the overall socio-economic development in the region, and its primary task is to coordinate regional development planning and policy making. Its legal basis is founded on Article 10, Section 14 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, which provides that the President shall provide for regional development councils or other similar bodies composed of local government officials, regional heads of departments and other offices, and representatives from non-government organizations within the region for the purpose of administrative decentralization, to strengthen the autonomy of units therein, and to accelerate the economic and social development of the units in the region, unquote. RDC functions includes, among others, to coordinate and formulation of policy and the preparation and implementation, monitoring and evaluation of regional physical framework plan, regional development plan, regional development investment plan, and special development plans. Likewise, it integrates approved development plans of provinces, cities, line agencies, SUCs, government-owned and controlled corporations, and special development authorities in the region, as well as also review, prioritize, and endorse to the national government annual investment programs and annual budgets of regional line agencies such as SUCs for funding and implementation. The composition of RDC, it is composed of 61 regular members, wherein you find the 6 governors of the 6 provinces of Bicol, 7 mayors, city mayors, 3 capital town mayors, the 6 presidents of provincial leagues of mayors, and 24 heads of regional agencies, and 15 regional private sector representatives. While in addition are 13 special non-voting members and 23 regular guests, that includes the provincial and city planning and development coordinators. The committees under the RDC are the EXECOM, where the mayors, the city mayors, and sector committee chair are, and some officials, selected officials, are part of the EXECOM. Advisory committee, this is where you will find some House representatives who signify their intent to join, would be invited. Then sectoral committees, we have the sectoral committees: economic, social, infrastructure, and development administration. And likewise, affiliate committees like the Regional Urban Land Use Committee, the Regional Project Monitoring Committee, and some special committees like Committees on Migration and Development and Bicol Competitiveness Committee. Now, primarily, the private sector representative are to actively assist the RDC in carrying out its own functions. And it's per EO number 38, membership of PSRs, the number of PSRs should not exceed 1/4 of the fully constituted RDC, which means of the 61 regular members, so therefore there are 15 private sector representatives, of which 7 comes from the sectoral PSRs nominated by RDC accredited private sector organizations. 7 geographic PSRs. This comes from the 6 provinces and 1 city, and that is from Naga City, being the only independent component city in the region, and 1 labor sector representative. Now, my involvement and participation as PSR has spanned 4 terms and possibly for more. It started in 2004 until 2007 as Geographic PSR of Naga City, where I serve as co-chair of the Economic Development and member of the Bicol Development Projects Committee, and 2007 to 2010 as Geographic PSR of Camarines Sur. And I became the chairman of the Economic Development Committee and maintained my membership in the Bicol Development Projects Committee. After skipping 2 terms, I came back in 2016 to 2019 as Geographic PSR of Naga City. And I was made chairman of the Development Administration Committee. Now the present term from 2019 to this will be until 2022 as sectoral PSR of the business sector. And I've been appointed as co-chair of the council, Bicol Regional Development Council. But I maintain my membership in the Regional Projects Monitoring Committee. Now, this involvement of mine in the PSR actually is rooted upon the education, the UPLB education that I have received, which has ingrained knowledge, ideas, and drive to contribute and participate towards nation building and development. Para sa akin, naiba ang UPLB education kasi naniniwala ako na dahil sa ito'y nagbibigay ng halaga at nakatuon sa pagpaunlad ng katauhan at ng sambayanan. Now, nadagdagan nito ng aking mga involvement, participation. Ito na yung aking participation sa government sector, kung saan I have mentioned that after my RA, my being research assistant sa UPLB based sa CDEM noon, and I got employed, I was taken to the Bicol River Basin Development Program, where I had the chance to acquire the knowledge on development, research, and planning, as well as on development projects, feasibility, evaluation, and justification, and more on development projects management. Sa BRBD pa rin, I was given the chance to receive some grants. One of this was NUFIC, from NUFIC, the Netherlands Foundation Netherlands University's Foundation for International Cooperation, NUFIC, which brought me back to UPLB to pursue my Master in Professional Studies on Food and Nutrition Planning. And then I was given a fellowship also by the British Council to participate in the post-management training on management of agricultural and rural development at the University of Manchester in UK.
Beda, kindly wind up in 1.5 minutes.
Yes. Well, after BRBDP, I went to DTI, and I was involved in the local economic development of the ILG. Then after that, I went to the private sector, got employed by the RFM, and I joined the Metro Naga Chamber. Then I was involved in the people's organization like the CBD, Coalition for Bicol Development, and the Naga City People's Council. And that brought me to the public-private arena, whereby that's where I am right now. Now, this volunteer work or this involvement that I have is mainly rooted on the UPLB education that I received, and which now taps which should be or leading to deep anchoring and tapping the knowledge resource of UPLB, being the repository of centers, institutes, programs, and experts that can contribute to the policy development directions. And secondly, this will lead to linking with UPLB alumni from other regions similarly participative in development as benchmarks for best practices, experiences, and expertise. Now, this to my mind will open the floodgates for strong and sustained UPLB Alumni Alliance through private sector participation in regional development as a way payback being ISKOS and ISKAS ng bayan. With that, maraming salamat. Diyos mabalos mga ISKO at ISKA ng bayan. Good afternoon.
Maraming salamat, Beda, for your sharing of how you are bringing your UPLB acquired knowledge capital to regional development in the Bicol region. In fact, one of the more dynamic regions nowadays, no? Because of a bustling economy. And I'm sure you have a lot to do with that as the private sector representative and co-chair of the Regional Development Council. So we will now have our scheduled first speaker dapat, Dr. Roger Colting, who will now share with us his own perspectives on the same UPLB Alumni Alliance from his perspective as having been an education administrator and of course a practitioner of his own craft learned from UP Los Baños. So take it away, Dr. Colting.
Hindi ako mahalik. Hindi alam ko.
Yes, we're on.
Good
afternoon. You may have to mute one of the connections, because I think may feedback yung sound natin. If you have two connections side by side, please mute one of them. Roger. We're having a problem with the audio. Hello, Roger. No, I think baka problema the fact that there are two connections for Lita Colting, and one of them obviously must be the Roger, and nagkaka-feedback. Let's try to sort this out.
Huh? There's a feedback.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead. Yes, you may go ahead now, Roger. Hello. May internet difficulties.
Oh my God.
Hello po.
Is the screen of Dr. Colting coming from them or from the admin? Because perhaps we can proceed first to... Roger, are you able to sort out the problem? I think we can see you. Go ahead. The floor is yours. Hello. Please go ahead. Mute kasi ah. Hello. Yes, can you go ahead? Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, please. Hello. Hello. If we cannot sort out the difficulties, but perhaps we can we proceed to Nathan first? If we can unload the screen first. Nathan, would you be prepared to take it on right now muna?
Yes, sige.
Okay, we will take down the screen muna, and please go ahead with yours while they try to sort out their technical difficulties. So we will first proceed with Nathan Acha, who will look at it from the perspective of his career in the sugar industry. So you may share your screen now, Nathan. The floor is yours, Nathan.
Okay now?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Doc Shell. Thank you, Doc Ino. And very Irene, Miss Emma, for having this, and everyone who I thank God for UPCA, and then when I graduated, it's UPLB already. And from being many of us probably graduated from the village, high schools, barangay. And probably many of us were not able to hold positions in the industry, high positions in the industry, or high positions in government. But you feel, as I feel, that you have solutions, something like for the industry or for the nation. You have solutions for the nation, even for the industry. So this afternoon, while we are talking of the UPLB-Alumni Alliance, I would like to take the cue using the description, the meaning of alliance and alliance.
Hello.
Backing as well as alignment of the university, as well as from the university aligned with us having more than long years of experience in the industry or workplaces. So I'm taking two issues here to review, to optimize the value of production per hectare per year in major crops, as we will be confined in our discussions with agriculture and little fishery. And later on, a new solution to this in agriculture, land-based agriculture, will be water engineering. Water engineering.
Yes, gusto ko ba? Yes, nakinig.
It was mentioned earlier by Doc Shell that after the 80s, it appears that the influence of UPLB has diminished. I can feel it in our own industry, except for these Philsotech, Philippine Sugar Technologies Associations. I'm sorry I did not hear much about UPLB, even in the policy making. Although we in the sugar industry, we have our own leadership, but seldom do we hear about the news and policy issues and new findings in agriculture from UPLB. Seems to me is quite a sad state. Now, I would like to bring you to a personal experience that there are 13 million hectares in the agricultural lands in the Philippines, and 10 million of the 13 are planted to rice, corn, and coconut. I will show you later on. These are low-value crops. And only 2 million out of 13 are high-value crops. Right. So I would say, based on some status quo analysis, this is a sorry state. There is no agricultural product in the Philippines that are competitive in the world market, except for fruits and cocoa products. Again, except for fruits, tropical fruits, and some high-value vegetables and cocoa products. And you will agree with me that there is a very high state of poverty in agriculture and fishery. A few years ago, I noted that in 25 to 28 million of the poorest people in the Philippines are in the agriculture and fishery. If we are right there, I'm afraid to say that we might be a failure. And children of the farmers now don't want to go to farming anymore. In fact, we have shortage of labor. So I will be presenting, as a matter of feedback, alliance and feedback to our school. This is not an imposition, okay? The reviewing, revisiting the production, the value of production per hectare per year as reported by DA. And I will show also some modeling here, how the sugarcane industry can be helped by itself, and probably its model can be used by the other industries, if at all there are industries like rice and corn. And then, as I had been looking for a long time ago, this water engineering thing, the water, which is primarily important in photosynthesis, has been neglected in agriculture. So I will be looking at this as one area. Sorry, jumps. Now, here is the performance of major crops in the Philippines, the value production. On this column here, we have palay, corn, coconut, sugarcane, banana, pineapple. These are the top seven. This is 2015 data. I have 2018, but I was not able to put it on slide. The total area of this, in terms of hectareage, is almost 12 million hectares. We have total 13. Here is almost 12. But the greatest of that is in palay, 4.6 million, 2.6 million in corn, coconut, 3.5, and sugarcane, 400,000, 400,000 banana. Okay, this is what has been reported always by DA. The total value production, of course, number one is palay and the rest. Sugarcane is only 42 and banana. The report goes up to here. When I tried to have put it on the ratio, the total production, value production, and the millions of hectareage, this is how it shows. Palay is only 67,000 pesos per year per hectare. Corn is 36, 27 for coconut, sugarcane is 100,000, banana here 300,000 for pineapple. See, and the total of this almost 12 million is only 60. Now, from the point of view of management and policy making, can you imagine if we will make all this 10 million hectares, just making 100,000? You see, this is one opportunity that I would like as a policy making body, especially the school as an influence, to have a review, not just to produce, but the value production per hectare per year must be one of the determinant factor. For sugarcane, allow me to use, I call it the model Brazil for sugarcane. In 75, 76, they produced only about 70, 75 million tons of cane. The Philippines produced at this time the highest of production, which is almost 30 million tons of cane. And over the years, at least the trend for Brazil up to 2005, 2006 is 350, near 400 million tons. Right now, they are close to 700, 800 million tons and may be aiming for 1 billion tons. Meaning to say, as far as sugarcane is concerned, it is growing up. Now, what made them increase the production of sugarcane? One, in fact, the growth of sugar consumption per person capita is only 2%. Here it is. The percentage of ethanol made directly from cane has gone close to 70%, and right now with so much of production of sugarcane, it's 50%. You see, so this is suggesting to us, if we make products other than crystal sugar, not just one product, then we can produce more and more and expand from 400,000 hectares right now, probably up to 1 million hectares, because we can use other sugar contents into ethanol production. This is one of the secrets of Brazil. A dream for Negros and the sugar industry. And perhaps the principle is the same for corn as well as rice, the so-called BIOREFINERY. This is not just a refinery from raw sugar to white, but it is called a refinery because it will have so many products here. See, here is the base product, which is sugar plant, making sugar, and the bagasse, the ordinary way. But then later on, it produces electricity and the other products, butanol, ethanol, first generation fermentation, second generation ethanol from cellulosic materials, and other products, including biodiesel. So this is one way of recovery of investment for the investors in the sugar mill and some other products. Now, given the state of agriculture that we have, water, as I said, in photosynthesis is the only thing missing, and as a variable that we can control. We have land, we have sunlight, we have plenty of CO2, but water has been neglected. That's why even in sugarcane, the productivity, tons cane per hectare of sugarcane is the same as in 1960 up to now. Australia started in 1935, 35 tons per hectare. Right now is 80, 100 tons cane per hectare national average. Now, as a way, water, it will be able to increase our agriculture area from right now 13 million out of 30 million square meters, 30 million hectares total area of the Philippines. 30 million is agricultural area. If we try to develop only 2 times in the water, especially in between islands, we could have at least 60 million hectares in addition to the 13 million agricultural land base. So producing more food for the country. So the objective here in trying to suggest this evolution, that we will be able to have a water industry. We did not hear this before. Only Israel have this, and they are bidding for US, California, and others for water. No flood, no drought agriculture. No flood because there will be impounding dams. No drought because we will be releasing water during the drought. And also drainage, good drainage also. And on the sea-based agriculture, we will be having not only agricultural desalination and maybe some potable water that will come out of desalination. Yes, it will require power, but the power coming, hydropower coming from the dams, we could use it now for agriculture irrigation and some of them to the potable water for Metro Manila.
Nathan, you have 1 minute left. Yeah.
Okay, the disciplines to cover in this curriculum, yes. I leave this if this is interesting for UPLB, UPLB management, then they will be more in authority to have the curriculum. And by the way, there is also a masteral degree of sugar engineering. This has to be placed water engineering major under the civil engineering, BS civil engineering course. Now, finally, these are the suggestions out of this as a matter of intervention alliance or my way of feedback system, our way 1975, but feedback to the university via the UPLB R&D. I checked this with Doc Ino, yes. And so maybe they can intervene the market-driven crop mix, the production process, which has the agri-production and the processing. And even the cadence system in sugar can be applied to rice and corn to avoid, as of right now, the very low value of palay. It's because the window of harvesting is too small for millions of hectares to be on a short period of time harvesting. That is one contribution that we can look into by the sugar industry. The processing, the marketing, even the packaging system of the fruit industry. That is one. Now, the proposal for the water engineering, yes, I look at this and probably you will agree that we need water. And this is a solution to improve our productivity. Water alone by irrigation can give 20 to 25% increase in yield. Now, for water farming, seawater farming, in between the lands, God has given us so many islands, 7,100 islands. In between islands, there are no big waves. We can use them as Mindanao right now is doing this aquaculture, floating aquaculture. And finally, on this, on the practicum, sorry, where's that? We had in BSST and Sugar Tech, we have 6-unit subject called practicum, or meal practice. That allowed me to have a clear knowledge and confirmation what I learned in the course. And as we discussed this with Doc Ino, this could be one of the good linkage point between those of us who graduated and are positioned in different companies and institutions that the university can contact with or have this academic, industry, or business tie-up, so that the students will have a better grasp of learning, and also widening the linkages of the university. So thank you, UP Los Baños. Thank you for all the organizers, and thank you for this time, the chance that we can give feedback to the university after more than 45 years of hard labor and different experiences, the hard and the good ones. Thank you, Dr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nathan. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, very rich wealth of knowledge and experience in the sugar industry. And I particularly appreciate how you mentioned the need for us to look more to the waters, especially between our islands, because I have time and again been expressing the frustration that we fail to plan our economy the way it should be planned, which is it's an archipelagic economy, and 4/5 of our territory is actually water and only 1/5 land, and yet masyado tayong land-oriented sa planning natin. So you pointed out some of the things that can be done to tap more of the water-based resources, our marine and the inland water resources.
Thank you.
And also, I'm so gratified at all your sharings about again what you have learned through your long years in the sugar industry. I look forward to hearing a fuller presentation from you. Alam kong bitin at I know that there's so much knowledge you can share with us. So I hope that we can benefit from a fuller presentation in the near future. So at this point, I'm not sure if Dr. Colting is ready with his presentation, but maybe I should call on Johnny Sangalang first. And we actually leave the perspective from the academe siguro, no? As our final presentation. Okay, so I can see that the screen of Dr. Colting is now coming on. So I trust that that means they are ready and the audio problems have been sorted out. So in that case, let us give the floor to Dr. Roger Colting. Welcome. I know that you had a brownout daw pala, kaya pala nawala kayo for a while.
Yes,
now
yes.
you're on. Good afternoon. Please go on now. You have the floor.
Habito. And to all listeners and panelists, good afternoon po, sir.
Good afternoon. You may proceed.
Oh, I may proceed. Okay. Thank you very much. My presentation is sharing our experience as UPLB Alumni Association in the Cordillera. And I would like to present by sharing the history, activities, future plans. So for the history of the UPLB Baguio Benguet chapter, it was founded in 1991, and there were around 20 members that included batch 1975 and 1960. That includes Dr. Tessie Merestella, 1975, and the late Severino Banikid of DPI, the batch 1960, together with Dr. Villarreal, but the Superintendent Banikid was actively involved in the BPI Baguio. So the agencies represented during the organization came from BSU, DA, BPI, DNR, and the private sector. We were able to elect the president at that time, and Dr. Elizabeth Versola was elected. We published a directory of members in the year 2000. And we would like to show to you the current officers. Sometime in 2016, some members are also shown in this picture of Dr. Jofel Calora, the president at the time of Benguet State University. We are having a search actually now, and including other foresters, the late Pax Untalan, the Forester Yawan, Jug Fernando, Dante Chichoco, Dr. Madul, Dr. Padua, Janet Luis, and many others. And they are actively involved right now. So after the history, may I present some of our activities. We have outlined this by presenting the affirmative action program, and maybe I would rather start this already with this. We have been doing the affirmative action program since 1994 up to 2018. In 2019, we did not do this anymore, although there is a clamor for the conduct of this affirmative action program. We have been doing this in partnership with the UPLB, the UPLB, the Green Mountain Circle, Cordillera Society. We have
We are losing the audio of Dr. Colting. I think their internet connection is faltering.
And his slide set's not moving.
Yeah, I think he's forgetting to advance his slides as well. It looks like his internet is off now because it's frozen.
Yeah, okay.
Should we proceed first with Dr. Sangalang? Yeah, mukhang... All right. While they try to reconnect, why don't I give the way? Can we proceed first with Johnny? And you'll be sharing his screen, right? So yes, Dr. Colting, please stand by. We will put you on again as soon as you have sorted out your internet connection problems. Meanwhile, we will have Dr. Johnny Sangalang come online. Johnny, the floor is yours now.
Okay, maraming salamat, Shell. At magandang hapon sa ating lahat na mga nanonood at nakikinig dito sa ating webinar. Ano? So, wala ang ano. Yes, ang topic ng aking presentation ay yung ating sa programa, Sustaining the Alliance Between the University and the Alumni Towards National and Local Development. Actually, ang topic na ito ay dinevelop ko based on the comment ni Ino in one of our meetings na mahina na raw ang next slide. Mahina na raw ang participation ng mga alumni sa ating Loyalty Day. And this is a clear indication na medyo nawawala yung linkage ng ating mga graduates sa university. And medyo dapat ay mabago na itong problema na to para nang sa ganun ay mapakinabangan natin yung magandang connection ng alumni sa university for development. So sa pag-develop ko nitong topic na ito, actually I look at the human development as well as the career development ng tao, and try to find out kung ano ang problema, kung bakit nagkakaroon ng disconnection o nawawala yung connection ng mga alumni from the university. Ano? So next slide please. Next slide. Next slide. Nawawala yung kana. Yes. So makikita natin dito yung development ng tao. Actually, yung last 3 figures diyan, doon nagsisimula yung yung career development ng tao. Some literature it says na yung parte na yon, yung early adult stage, middle stage at saka yung late adult stage, ano. So doon sa parte na yon ng portion kung saan ang career development starts, ano. And let us look into the different stages doon sa career development ng tao, ano. So next slide. So klaro dito sa figure na to, no, na merong simula at pagdating ng dulo, merong sabi nila may katapusan, pero sabi ko merong simula at merong bagong simula. So next slide please. Okay. So titingnan natin dito yung parang stages ng career development ng alumni. So from first year to 15 years after graduation, ang mga edad ng graduate ay nasa mga mid-20s to mid-30s. Oops. Balik sa sa unang slide please, o sa previous slide. Yung balik doon sa nakarang slide. So yun, first year to 15 years, early 20s to mid-30s. Sa year of graduation yan, so yun yung mga graduate ng 2005 to 2019. Ano? So makita natin na yung mga graduates niyan ay they are on their job search, starting family, or build up work experience doon sa mga nakakuha ng trabaho. At yung mga may trabaho na, they start considering professional advancement, ano. Then 16 years to 25 years, ang age ay mga mid-30s to mid-40s. Graduate siya ng 1995 to 2004. Ang concern naman nila, they settle with the family, make efforts to build house, work for job security and professional advancement, as well as financial stability, no. So sa stage na yan, sa career development stage ay nasa career maintenance stage ang parte na yan, ano. Yung una, parang yung first year to 15 years, career placement stage, ano. So moving forward tayo sa sa 26 to 35 years from graduation. So ang edad niya ay mid-40s to mid-60s, mid-50s, 40 to 50s, ano. 1985 to 1994 graduates. So at this time, most graduates work for extra income. They're considering for other business, and yung mga naka-entrenched na sa kanilang mga trabaho, they work for pushing their career up, and on the family side, they make efforts to really ensure the education of their children, no. So career-wise ay nasa career maintenance stage pa rin yan, no. Next slide please. Oops, teka.
Yeah, may time lag lang dyan, so I guess you just have to, okay.
So yung parang hindi, yeah, yun. Okay, 36 years to 45 years from graduation, age niyan mid-50s to mid-60s, graduate ng 1975 to 1984. So diyan tayo nakasama. So most of us are already on our zenith of our career, settled life na. Some are looking for self-actualization, some for social, civic, or religious concerns. So at this stage, career mentoring na yan, ano? So medyo malapit na mag-retire or naka-retire ng iba. So mentoring na ang nangyayari dito, and we would like to make sure na may maghahalili sa ating mga trabaho, ano. yung kasunod 46 to 55 years after graduation, mid 60s to mid 70s. Well, graduate 1965 to 1974. So self-actualization, meron din concern for social, civic, religious. Dito nag-umpisa na rin yung yung health concerns natin, and a good number of us are taking life easy na, no. 56 to 65, ito religious, health concern, and taking life easy. Oops. Nawala yung
wala yung PowerPoint mo. Yeah, please repost it again.
Nawala. Anyway, yung last stage noon actually are the late adult stage, and kung titingnan natin yung profile ng mga stages na yan, from Ino's point, sabi niya ang mga hindi nakaka-attend ng alumni, yung loyalty day, actually nasa mga earlier yung mga bagong graduates. So tingnan natin yung specifically kung ano-ano yung mga concerns nga nila, and apparently susunod na slide sana, so kung titingnan natin yung career development stage sa yung mga earlier graduates, naandun sila sa sa parang period kung kailan masyadong busy sila sa kanilang career, sa kanilang pamilya, job security or financial stability, so karamihan ay nakatutok doon sa aspeto na yun, Nawawala yung PowerPoint. Okay. Samantalang yung sa mga later stage na medyo stable na yung yung career, and yung iba mga milyonaryo na, yung iba naman ay okay lang na simple ang buhay, So supposedly kung doon sa mga late adult stage, supposedly ang ginagawa na nila dapat ay yung susunod na slides. Can you show it, Next slides. Yan pa man din yung joke.
Next.
Nawawala pa. Okay, next slide na,
Parang na-mute ka yata, Johnny. Can you try it again?
Hindi, okay lang.
Okay. Yeah, is that... Oh, nawala na naman.
Nawala.
Parang nadidisconnect si Ino eh.
Nawala yung ating host.
No, he's there pala. Ayun. Well, we apologize to our audience and mostly our batchmates for the technical difficulties, but yan ang ating problema sa ating bansa. Ang internet connectivity natin ay medyo unreliable.
Oo nga. Nagwo-worry nga ako baka ma-brown out din dito sa amin eh. But anyway, so far okay pa naman.
Sige, which slide do you need on screen now?
Ibalik mo lang ibalik mo doon sa one slide back, yeah.
One slide back. May nakita akong litrato doon. Ayan.
Yun. Yan yung supposedly ginagawa na ng mga nasa late adult stage. Meron niyang meron niyang action kaya lang hindi gumagalaw eh. But anyway, just nawala yung action nagsasayaw yun eh. Anyway, supposedly at the late adult stage, they were taking life easy. Yung iba naman na may kaya pa, they could still do some mentoring dun sa mga naiwanang kasama sa trabaho dati, Ayun, pero mahina talaga ako, Gumagalaw siya pero mahina na rin siguro dahil sa edad. Okay, let's proceed. Next stage. Next slide, please. Okay, so kung titingnan natin yung mga issues, yung mga early earlier graduates, yung mga bago, ano, they are focused on their career, they're starting a family. Oops, napabilis naman. Ibalik lang konti sa ano, Ino. So they're starting the family.
Yeah, backtrack
ng jump,
yeah. Ayun.
Yan. So busy yung mga ano, mga bagong graduates, ano. So siguro up to mga 35 years after graduation. Yung namang mga areas kung saan merong mga alumni association, yung mga leaders or members actually are also busy with their specific work, ano. And then we can also say yung ibang alumni association in the field are really not very active in inviting or encouraging members to attend the alumni association activity, ano. Next slide. Except meron ding mga grupo na very active naman, no? But in some or in most hindi masyadong active ang alumni association, ano. Or we can say na there's no effective system of gathering the alumni in the field, no. No, the system is not well established yet. And then yung support ng supposed to be that the alumni association can provide to alumni in the area is not well advertised, ano, kaya hindi marami nakakarating, ano. And I think ito yung malaking punto, yung rallying point, yung common concern ng alumni are not really identified among the alumni, ano. So walang parang common rallying point, ano. Ang tanong is another issue, can the University Alumni Center or Alumni Affairs be involved in all these stages para masigurado na ang mga alumni ay nakakonekta pa rin sa university, ano? Ang tingin ko, next slide. Ang tingin ko ang Alumni Center or yung UPLB Alumni Affairs, they are supposed to be the official link ng alumni sa university, ano? And kung magkakaroon talaga ng malakas na link, then yung mga concern ng alumni sa field in terms of development, madaling mapipidback sa university so that some action can be done, ano. Yung maraming pwedeng gawin ng university and alumni so that we can push forward yung mga development programs, ano. Sabi nga, kung ang alumni ay ang branches, ang alumni ang mga ang branches, ang pinakapuno ay ang university, ano. So kung mawawala yung link doon sa branches at ang puno, ay hindi natin may itutuloy yung mga magandang programa ng university sa field, ano. So kailangan talaga na malakas yung link na yun, ano.
Please wind up, Johnny.
Okay, diretsuin ko na lang. Iano lang ang kwan, ang next slide. Siguro doon na sa sa last 3 slides. Last 3 slides kasi mauulit naman yung issues na yan sa sige pa. Ayan, okay, dito na. So strategies para mapalakas natin yung yung linkage. Right before graduation, siguro pumupunta naman ng ang mga alumni sa administration to get yung certificate na sila graduate. So pwede na kunin ng registrar ba o ng alumni affairs yung mga addresses, ano. Tapos the alumni center can also encourage yung establishment ng mga alumni association sa ibang region na wala pa, and yung meron man, tulungan sila na ma-empower yung mga regional or alumni associations, ano. So pwede yung magawa, no. Next slide. Yan. Wala yung bin, no. The alumni center could also include propose the inclusion of the basic in the basic bylaws ng alumni association yung mga major UP values, ano, like service to the people, integrity and excellence in service, and national and community development, ano. I think ito yung mga common ideas or common values na we have in the university, and if this can be included in the bylaws ng Alumni Association, then we can all be reminded that we have to pursue this in our respective areas of work, ano. So ito yung importante that Alumni Center should make a good and updated directory of all alumni association in different regions or provinces, ano. Next, parang may nawala na ng mga items.
Talagang may time lag din sa from the time that clicks it to the time it shows on the screen.
Oo nga eh. Ito may nawalang mga but ang isa pa ring importante I think mabuti rin na magkaroon ng alumni ID yung alumni. We could start this para at least they have a remembrance in their pocket, and mabuti nakalagay din doon sa ID na yon na if they will be changing their address or contact number, informahan lang yung Alumni Center or Alumni Affairs. It's also important that class coordinator siguro ng bawat graduates can be appointed per each region kung possible, and then to continue on with our concern for issues or important development concern, pwede ma-encourage siguro yung mga alumni association to hold symposium or symposia or fora on important current issues like COVID-19, itong sinasabi ni na water engineering, napakalaking concern yan, yung West Philippine Sea, pwede mapag-usapan ito kahit virtual, and I think that can at least bring all alumni into a common value or common concern na pwedeng pag-usap-usapan and eventually pwedeng pagtulong-tulungan. Next slide. Talagang last slide na yon. Okay. So dito sa pag-kolekta ng mga addresses, we can get yung different organizations just university involved kasi I'm sure meron silang connection din doon sa mga graduates nila and pwedeng mag-compare ng notes ang Alumni Affairs or Alumni Center with different organization para maayos yung data in terms of addresses, and we also hope na ang mga alumni association should keep a good and updated local directory ng alumni members, and last item dito, I guess we can encourage ang university to grant award to outstanding alumni association para yung ibang relatively inactive na alumni association may encourage naman to be active, So yun yung view ko about how we can invigorate yung link between alumni and the university, and we really have to do this because kung tutusin, malaki talaga ang may tutulong ng alumni sa university, and likewise, the university can also help a lot the alumni in the field for some new updates about developments sa mga research findings. Sa mutual ang magiging benepisyo nito sa both alumni and the university in the long run. So with that, mga kasama, maraming salamat at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat, Johnny. This is thank you in fact for addressing the topic very directly with very concrete suggestions. Pag nag-retire ka na, Johnny, alam ko na kung sino ino-nominate kong mag-head ng alumni office natin. At you're the man with the right ideas on how to really pull everybody together. And indeed, this is worthy of note. Siguro dapat we really call attention of our alumni office, alumni association, so that all these very useful suggestions. I like that idea of the alumni ID, halimbawa, no? Kasi everybody keeps a belonging, just being a card-holding member of the UPLB alumni. So anyway, this is all very well taken and very welcome suggestions. I'd like to check whether Dr. Colting is able to come back on board, because I see Lita, but I don't see Dr. Roger. Lita, are you able to chime in? Okay, here we go again. Sige. let us give way again and pick it up from where you left off, Dr. Colting.
Yes, good afternoon again.
Good afternoon. Yeah, please continue where you left off. Sige.
Yeah. I was hearing about the activities of the Cordillera UPLB Alumni Association. And we started off with what we call the Affirmative Action Program to be able to encourage the youth to avail of UP education. And we have done this since 1994, as I mentioned, and we have 7 batches so far. Of course, we thank the UPLB Pahinungod as our partner, UPLB-AA, the Green Mountain Circle, and BSU being the host of these classes. In terms of attendance to the Loyalty Day celebration, as I mentioned earlier, we have sent delegations since 1991 as a chapter, and we have attended the latest one in the 2018, the centennial celebration. If you recall, the university is also conducting what you call the UP Alumni Institute. And our former president of the chapter, Mr. Banikid, the late Mr. Banikid, was able to organize and host the Alumni Institute. And we have invited no less than the UP president at that time, since 1994, Dr. Javier, to have fellowship with the group, together with the UPLB Chancellor, Dr. Ruben Villarreal. Another activity is the participation of the alumni here to the UPAA council meetings. I understand that the UPAA council is composed of all chapter associations, representatives from the country, together with national officers of the UPAA. They conduct these annual meetings. And so far in the 1990s, our chapter president that time attended. And there was that fundraising campaign to put up the Bahay ng Alumni. And then the chapters were encouraged to contribute financial support. And we were able to contribute to that project. We also collaborate with UP Baguio, and usually the UP Baguio organizes the joint meetings together with the UPAA and UPLB. And during the time of Dr. Priela Macan-Santos as the Chancellor, I was able to attend at that time. I was an active officer of the UPLB Association. That was in 2011. But in 2018, thereafter, this was again raised by Dr. or Chancellor Raimundo Rogelio. And out of these collaborative meetings, there was a proposal to organize the Northern Luzon chapter, but this will be composed of all UP Alumni Association. Another activity is that organized by our Sunshine Committee, like Christmas programs, fellowship programs, And the other thing is to honor our alumni members who passed away, and we are doing this. We have done this so far in many occasions, but I'd like to highlight that of Forester, the late Forester Pianza in 2012, and the late Forester Paquito Paxtontalan in 2018. Now, the association also supports survivors of calamities, and we are familiar with Typhoon Yolanda, or the international typhoon codenamed Haiyan. And the group, UPLB alumni members who are with the BSU Department of DevCom, initiated the project that solicited donations from friends in various countries and donated them to typhoon victims through Ugup Warainon Incorporated in Leyte. This project, yours, by the way, yours, meaning Yolanda Outreach for Unity and Responsive Service, helped survivors to recover from Typhoon Yolanda in 2013. And the forms of assistance were medical assistance, shelter construction, and assistance, educational support, livelihood support to selected families. Now we are also typhoon-prone region, and we would like to highlight our support to survivors again of the typhoons, particularly of the Typhoon Undoy. This typhoon was a very strong one that there was a massive landslide in the nearby Ukab, the mining community in Ukab, Benguet. And the alumni from UPLB who are working at BSU, the Department of DevCom, again initiated the fundraising. They call this Tugon para sa Itugon. And they were able to gather some financial assistance, and they have issued this to the survivors in 4 waves. The first wave was in terms of hygiene kits, relief goods, clothing to a particular barangay in the slide affected community. The other wave was in form of cash donation, and then the third wave was assisting students in terms of school supplies and clothing to the Tabu Elementary School. And the fourth wave was in the form of cash donation again and some kitchen equipment for a certain community, particularly St. Louis High School, Antamo. Now, we are familiar with COVID-19 pandemic, and it has caused a lot of trouble really worldwide. But now we are glad that some of our alumni members are very active in engaging the alumni to support the victims and survivors. Some members have started what you call the Uplan Damayan, which was initiated by the Department of Social Development Services of the College of Human Ecology of UPLB. But the project was to bring veggies from Benguet, vegetables from Benguet to needy communities down there in Laguna and Batangas. And the COVID Uplan was implemented with the assistance of alumni here by coordinating with farmers, packers at the Tulay trading post and Trinidad vegetable trading post. The Department of Agriculture provided the vehicles to ferry the vegetables from the Benguet to Laguna. And you will see here in the picture, the photo, the municipal agriculture officer of the Tublay LGU, who was very active in pre-packing the vegetables in a chop suey pack so that they will be easily distributed to the families. There are many other sponsors that were involved here, but we can see in the logo in this Opnandamayan streamer. The logo of the Rotary Club, District 380 and so forth. Now the last shipment for this visits to the communities was just done August 10, 2020. So far there were cash donations that were used to for the logistics of this project, and the department, the organizers would like to thank the partners in this regard. Now we would like to inform also that the alumni of UPLB have been very instrumental in leading various institutions in the region. And we would like to start off with the regional government agencies. For example, the DNR CAR, the regional directors who have been from UPLB, the DA CAR, Dr. Maslan. Dr. Maslan is a vet med graduate, but we consider veterinary science as a course at UPLB, and he is a long-time director of the DA CAR. We also have the Baguio National Crop Research and Development Center, or we call the BPI Baguio. The superintendent of this center has been UPLB alumni. ATI, we are familiar with the Agricultural Training Institute. This started with the Dr. Castro, Dr. Consolacion, Dr. Patronino Acampo as superintendent. Currently, the superintendent is still a UPLB graduate, Dr. Arlene Luna Flores. The DOST CAR was headed by Dr. Ocampo Jr., Ben Ladilad, and then the Philippine Nutrition Center in the region.
Dr. Colting, please wrap up soon. Yeah.
Concern. You will notice that there were several UPLB graduates that headed the university, starting with Dr. Julian Mamaril since 1955 to 1961. And the latest, of course, is Dr. Calora Jr., who has served for one term. There's another alumni in the region who was asked to head the Southern Christian College in North Cotabato up to the present. In banking and finance, you are familiar with the Rural Bank of Baguio, the oldest Rural Bank of Baguio. This is a family-owned rural bank owned by Mr. and Mrs. Chukilo Samupo. And then Development Bank, managers, the Benguet Co-op Bank, Land Bank. In politics, there were several also. I'd like to mention Robert Tindaan, who was former mayor of Bugas for 3 terms, then vice governor, and so forth. At the international level, of course, who used to be with BSU and have served in this region. As you are familiar, he was Director General of ICRISA. There were FAO consultants from the region also, and many others. Now, the plans of the Cordillera UPLB Alumni Association. We would like to upscale the Baguio Benguet Association to a regional chapter, although we have been acting in regional capacity, even if the association was Baguio Benguet chapter. Of course, we'd like to update the directory of members. We'd like to have an info drive on UP education to K-10 students in various schools. And then propose to UPLB the involvement, UPLB Alumni Association, the involvement of alumni chapters in the search for outstanding alumni. Probably the regional chapters can be tapped to assist in this regard. Of course, we'd like to continue relevant projects that have been undertaking, like the Affirmative Action Program and others. Encourage the UPLB Office of Alumni Relations to regularly update alumni chapters on the programs of the university and the alumni so that there can be networking, collaboration with one another. Well, encourage the common social media. So we have a Facebook, for that matter, for channeling communication. So we encourage all chapters to have a common social media for communication and exchange of information. That's all. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Habito.
Yes.
Thank you for
Maraming salamat, Dr. Colting, for that very informative sharing of the activities and the impact that has been made by UPLB alumni up in the Cordilleras. It's so gratifying to see that you are not only continuing to be very active, but in fact are able to help even in the current difficulties to people in the region. So maraming salamat, Dr. Colting. And congratulations to you for all of those efforts. I know that you're highly instrumental in most of these initiatives by our alumni. So again, that was a good scan, I guess, of the perspectives on UPLB Alumni Alliances and partnerships. At this point, we have some time, a little bit of time, I guess, for some open forum. Our participants can make use of the Q&A box to type in their questions, or even the chat box directly. Or you are also welcome to raise your hand virtually or visually, and so that you can be recognized. I have at least 2 batchmates helping out in facilitating this open forum. Now, I see already one from our, I think, alumni president, Leo Balestin. He's saying UPLB-AA wishes to convey our profound appreciation on this webinar. Rest assured that we will consider all the suggestions and recommendations given. Many of these, however, are already in place, such as the Alumni ID and Alumni Institute. And we really appreciate suggestions on giving awards for the various alumni associations. Kudos to Batch 75. Maraming salamat po, President Leo Balesfin. Indeed, it's good to know that the Alumni Association is listening. Andiyan ang presidente mismo, si President Leo. And so I think we have been hearing from all four presenters precisely some very good suggestions on how to further enrich the contribution that we alumni can make to UPLB and of course to national development as a whole in partnership with UPLB. Are there any other comments right now or questions from anybody among our participants? Sino nga ba yung magmo-monitor kasama ko? Because I cannot keep track of all the participants, whether they are raising their hands virtually or not. No? Anyone from the panelists themselves, any comments? Okay, wala naman ibang question sa Q&A box natin.
Wala.
Okay. So, no raised hands naman daw. So, mukha namang malinaw. And again, of course, we would like to apologize for all the technical difficulties. Alam na naman natin ang problema ng ating internet services. And that's why many of us have always been lamenting the relatively disadvantaged position we have as an economy, especially in attracting investments, when our internet, very crucial now to doing business in almost any industry, has been very spotty. And from our participants who are farther out, mas mahirap ang internet connection. Okay, I'm seeing another question. This is a comment from Jaime Nuevas. This is not a question, but a critical comment on the sustainability of local UPLB alumni associations. We used to have a very active association in the early 80s that lasted until the late 80s. We were mostly graduates of then UPCA. We were really active then until the ugly head of local politics reared its ugly head that spelled the demise of our association. And this is from Jamie Nuevas of Class 1968 in Oriental Mindoro. So indeed, this may be one of those factors also that undermine the strengthening of the partnership. Alam naman natin tayo mga Pilipino, sometimes I'm tempted to say that politics is a national malady. And this has been an obstacle to our national development when we get the political polarizations that occur, even in small groups, can be very divisive and destabilizing even. And our kapwa scholar ng bayan, Mr. Jaime Nuevas, is pointing this out. So even in the context of alumni associations, nagkakaroon ng ganyang problema. A common story about Filipino associations in general, not alumni associations, overseas especially, is pag nagka-eleksyon ng presidente, yung natatalo, tumitiwalag at gumagawa ng bagong asosasyon. I hope that doesn't happen with alumni associations in different parts of the country or different countries even. But this is really a factor that we have to contend with. But I think all the suggestions made today by our speakers are all going to be helping precisely our alumni association led by President Leo Balesfin in addressing these challenges of how do we get our alumni to feel that Los Baños spirit even more strongly than it already is in many of us, no? And therefore also contribute to the further advancement of the university and further advancement of the role of the university and its alumni in national development. Can I invite my other, okay, meron tayong raised hand from Sustaining UPLB Alumni Alliance. Can we give way to that? Can they unmute themselves? Pwede bang meron ba silang capability to unmute?
Unmute. Wala. Hindi pa pwede? Hindi ka pwede? Host allowed to talk in the webinar. You can unmute your microphone and start speaking.
Nasaan ang unmute?
Can our admin give way to yung naka-raise ng hand natin na participant, which was really it's not a person but a group sustaining. Ayan, talking is permitted. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I be heard?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Wow, binago niyo format. Nawawala kami ni Dr. Ablis eh. Well, in the first place, this is a very good seminar about the Alliance.
Dr. Ruben ba? Si Dr. Ben ba ito? Good to hear you, sir. Yeah, sige po.
All right. Well, there was mention about the Alumni Institute. When I was with the UP Alumni Association, I was the head of establishing Alumni Institute, and we were able to conduct 11 Alumni Institute. And 3 of them were done even in foreign countries, one in Brunei, one in Thailand, and one in Indonesia. But you know what were the reasons why they were successful? Number one, because of the alumni UPLB alumni spirit, the Rusbanians spirit.
Yes.
Because everywhere I went, I saw to it that I would first contact the alumni group or maybe a couple of alumni. Number 2, I was able to contact also those who are Pratt members, whether Upsilon, Beta Sigma, Alpha Sigma, Alpha Pi Omega, because they were the ones who were very, very sensitive to people coming from the Philippines and doing something for the alumni. And of course, that is very critical. In other words, if we would like to have Alumni Institute in the Philippines, which UPAA is doing, I think it is very critical that within the region or within the Alumni Association, there is a main contact who will be the one to spearhead the activities in the area. All right. Then there was also a question why Filipinos, we cannot forward. Bakit ganun tayo? Binanggit mo a couple of times. And
yes.
I am reminded of a Taiwanese sociologist who, after giving a talk, I asked a question. The question was something like it. What's the reason why Taiwan is so progressive like that? And then the answer was Dr. Villarreal, according to her, because I was then the scientist of ABRDC. The first, there are 2 roles, the government role and the people's role. For the people's role, the Taiwanese are very industrious. The Taiwanese are very disciplined. The Taiwanese are very law-abiding. O, pumili na kayo kung nasaan tayo dyan. And sabi niya, the government role, the role is very simple, governance. But in governance, the government sees to it that there are infrastructure that will be able to handle the so-called research and development, that will be handle the farm-to-market road, that will be able to handle the marketing proper. But above all, there should be a political will to be able to implement all of this, because without political will, you cannot go anywhere. Mga kapatid, nasaan tayo? Thank you.
Ciel, this is
so yes.
This
Go ahead.
Dr. Ables.
Yes.
Gino
Ables.
I'd like to suggest that the Alumni Association put out the newsletter more regularly, more frequently, and even electronically.
Yes.
I think it's a very nice way, it's an excellent way of communicating with the alumni all over the world.
That's
now
true.
that we have seen how Zoom operates, I think we can do so with a regular newsletter that should link alumni with the university. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Additional, Rachel.
Yes.
Nga pala ang aming masagana 99 and the lessons learned. Nakakatuwa, ang dami ko nang tinatanggap na napakinggan sila. Merong sa Amerika, merong sa Canada, at of course, marami din sa Pilipinas na napakinggan daw nila. Ang kagandahan pala nung ang ginawa ay number 1, itong ating Zoom. Number 2, nasa Facebook. Number 3, nasa Google. Kaya maraming, yung iba sa Google daw sila, iba naman sa Facebook, iba naman. Yung talagang actual nakita nila yung mga nagsasalita at gumagawa ng mga comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your sentiments. And in fact, talagang we are precisely riding on this the ease of online linkages through social media. Yung totoo lang, our batch 1975 is thinking, we're already gearing up for 5 years from now kasi nabalitaan namin itong batch 70, and I know there are some batch 70 alumni with us today. Kasama na yung kapatid ko, nakita ko nandyan. Actually, 5 taon na rin daw sila in the preparations, no? So, parang naging hamon sa amin. So anyway, we are also beginning to gear up, and we are quickly able to increase the number of people now that we are in touch with, just by sheer using of our email and social media and other online content. So yung sinasabi ni Dr. Ables na alumni newsletter, in fact, hindi na nga daw uso yung hard copy ng mga newsletter. It's more of online, whether you email it or post it on a Facebook page or a website itself. We can truly reach far and wide and as many people as we would like by doing it that way. Yung content na lang talaga kailangan i-generate nga ng ating nung alumni groups natin. And again, I'm sure that our alumni association under President Leo has been actively doing precisely that kind of outreach as well. No. So anybody else want to express their comments? I saw another new comment. Si Alex Panes, our batchmate, does UPLB have a US recognized non-profit status for tax-free donation? So this is for soliciting resources from overseas, especially US, no? Kasi ang tanong ni Alex, so I believe Alex is based in New Zealand right now.
3 minutes.
3 minutes na lang.
That would be a good way kasi pag tax deductible nga naman, kasi pag non-profit tax status, mas madali mag-attract ng donations. I don't know who can answer that. UPLB ba or UPLB Alumni Association itself? Has it attempted to get this kind of donee status in not only in the Philippines or even in the Philippines muna, and then also overseas? Perhaps the President Leo can chime in on this. Yes.
I think the Alumni Association has to be accredited first before they can before the donations to them can be will be tax free.
Tama.
It has to be accredited.
Accredited.
And there's a long list of requirements for non-profit associations and organizations.
Yeah, even in our own country, napakabigat nung niyan.
Kahit the foundation?
Ay, foundation.
Dapat foundation.
Kailangan accredited ka ng ating sa Pilipinas.
As a foundation.
Yung social,
dapat
pero kasi sa Pilipinas kasi CNC.
Philippine
Council for NGO
accredited kami ng social welfare.
Even an association.
Kailangan accredited kami.
Pero sa overseas nga, we have many overseas alumni
association
who could make donations sana.
Hindi na kaya.
Shell?
Yes, go ahead.
May we request Melody, Miss Melody Kalisay, to share something with us about the alumni from Hawaii?
Is willing to edit.
Yeah, I see Melody, and she's beaming in from Hawaii. Classmate Melody?
Ay, ito pala. Shell, rinig pa ako?
Yes, we're waiting for Melody to come on first.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, Melody.
Okay. Hi, it's 11 o'clock our time in Hawaii, so I really have to. This will be very quick. You know, in Hawaii, we have a very active UP Alumni Association. So we are actually, during my time, I was a former president, And during our time, we were able to generate a lot of, a lot of money, and the money goes to UP Diliman, like an endowment fundraising. So my question is, I was planning to propose a project at UPLB, but I didn't know who to contact that time. So if we have something, we have projects going on with the University of the Philippines Alumni Association here. We have 100 members, and almost 60% of the members are from UPLB. Very few are from UP Diliman. So if I can contact anybody from UPLB Alumni Association, you have one at UPLB, right? So
Yes.
maybe we can propose, or I can propose or start talking with him, and what are the projects that we can be involved with at UPLB, because most of the projects that they are thinking or we're thinking are geared toward UP Diliman.
That's a very good point. And in fact, your group in Hawaii is obviously one in many around the world. So
Correct.
siguro kay President Leo Balesfin. Anyway, we will by the way provide you with the contacts of the UPLB Alumni Association leadership through our email group now in batch 1975.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because the incoming president is also from UPLB.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, maybe one of our fundraising, we can generate money for a project to help the UPLB system.
Yes, that would be very welcome indeed.
President Leo is raising his hand.
Yes, President Leo, go ahead.
Okay.
Please unmute yourself. Okay, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat sa initiative na ito ng Class 1975. With regards po dun sa question kanina na whether you can send a donation and if it's taxable, ang naging issue namin dyan before is pag malaki, the UP system, they have a 150% tax rebate. And then ang procedure na in-advise namin, because we have a very big project sana costing about 100 millions to 1 billion yung ating tahanan ng alumni.
Yes,
course the money through the UP Foundation. And then we will have the UP Foundation. And the UP president is the chairman of the UP Foundation. But of course, we need the approval of the Board of Regents. For the information of the body po, ako po ay umuupo din bilang member ng UPAA board.
Okay.
Right now. And then pinapalakas din po natin ang ating UPLB-AA. It just so happen na medyo yung mga schedule sana namin na mga activities ay naapektuhan talaga ng COVID-19 itong pandemic. But we really appreciate po yung mga initiative na ganyan, and we welcome po yung lahat ng mga panukala ninyo para mapalakas natin ang ating samahan. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, President Leo. In fact, kami halos na-discover nga lang namin lately, no, na ganun pala namang kadali na ibalik yung ating mga kaklase. Kasi nagsimula kami sa ilang tayo, wala pa yata 10 nung kukontakan ng 75. Yeah, Emma would know that very well kasi si Emma ang talagang masipag na tinatrabaho yung directory ng aming batch. Ngayon, nakakailan na tayo, Emma? Nasa 80 na ba? Mahigit?
Wala pa.
Pero tayo
at least 50 with complete addresses, email address, and telephone numbers.
So, pero mabilis lumaki yan itong past weeks lang. Dahil nga ganon, it's a matter of getting members who are already in touch to find others. It turns out the first step was to disseminate the list of our graduating class. Yung 300 plus na kami na ma-realize namin na baka kabatch pala si ganon-ganon. Kilala ko naman yun. So we are able to share addresses and contacts and grow the list very quickly. So I think each batch can do this, and then of course help improve the directory and database of the Alumni Association in general. So we will be happy to share this data with you, President Leo and the Alumni Office, so that yun nga, yung sinuggest ni Johnny Sangalang kanina na talagang let's keep now a current database and directory of alumni so that we can really be enhancing this partnership between UPLB and
Opo sir, actually yan ang talagang pinapalakas natin with in coordination with OAR sana.
Yeah, with the anyway,
the alumni relation.
That's right. So it's a matter of linking up with the batches as well as the different chapters. All right. So
last.
Yes. Sige, one more. We are beyond 5. But sige po, go ahead. Go ahead. Dr. Ben.
Ruben Villarreal, class 60. Nawala na.
Ba, kayo'y ano?
Ayun, dinig ba?
Dinig po kayo. Go ahead, Dr. Ben.
Well, ang aming class ay ibinovolunteer namin si Dr. Gino Ables na pamahalaan ng newsletter ng UPLB Alumni Association. Kung papayag kayo, Gino Ables. Alam mo naman kami, mga panay-retire na, kaya kami volunteer na lang ng volunteer.
We welcome po. Actually, I started the newsletter when I came in 5 years ago. Yung pong bukas, yung ating official newsletter.
Okay, so well, at any rate, so we volunteer.
Yes, sir.
Our class.
Noted,
Yeah.
sir.
That's very
Thank you very much. So, Dr. Ables, bagay, nag-opisina naman siya doon nung hindi pa COVID-19. Thank you, thank you.
Salamat po. At siguro it's time to wind up this very wonderful gathering, and I'll turn it back to Ino Lansigan, who has been our de facto batch leader. Dean Lansigan, please.
Okay, very much, Shell, for moderating our webinar, and also would like to thank the panelists for sharing their time and also their experiences and suggestions on how we can move on to sustain the alliance between the university and the alumni.
Bahala ka na dyan lumabas.
At this point, we'd like to present a simple token of appreciation to our panelists. Maybe read this certificate of appreciation. The 102nd Lloyd's Day celebration presents this certificate of appreciation to our speakers on this webinar, sponsored by UPLB Class 1970 2020. Signed by yours truly, class co-convener, Cristino M. Collado, Chairman, Steering Committee, and Los Baños Alumni Association. Giving this to Dr. Rogelio D. Colting as one of our panelists, also to Mr. Nicolas Beda A. Priela, as this as well, and also Mr. Nathaniel E. Acha, and also Dr. Juanito B. Sangalang.
Thank you.
I'd like to present a certain appreciation to our moderator, Dr. Shelito F. Habito, or moderator of this webinar. Okay.
Salamat po. It was a pleasure doing this.
Thank you, thank you.
This will be sent to you after we have secured the necessary clearance, also from the IAFTF, to send this. So you'll be receiving this. So thank you very much. At this point, may we call on one of our active members in class 75 to give the Dr. Bioli Villegas. Bioli?
Naka-mute.
Nakamute ka, Violi.
Sorry, ang haba na ng sinabi ko eh.
Kaya. Ulit.
Okay, dear classmates and friends, we have just completed our webinar with the theme Sustaining UPLB Alumni Alliance with 4 classmates from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao who shared their experiences after graduation. All expressed gratitude to UPLB for preparing them in life after college.
Amen.
I wish to thank our speakers, Roger, the Green Mountain Circle boy, Beda, the Baker Hall boy, Nathan, the Sugar Tech board top-notcher, and Johnny, professor, researcher, and gentleman farmer now, our host, Dean Ino, our moderator, ex-NEDA Chief Shell, and Emma Escover, who devoted a lot of effort to our Class 75, plus everyone who joined us in this webinar. We thank also ITC, UPLB, for the assistance. And I should mention one participant, Arban Roldan, who is now in Canada. He joined us 3 to 5 a.m. his time. The UPLB Loyalty Celebration is unique this year because activities are done or will be done virtually because of the COVID-19 pandemic. As Sapphire Jubilarians, that is 45 years after we graduated, we had the opportunity to reconnect with each other, thanks to available technologies that enabled us to do so. Before we started our Zoom meetings, we always exchanged pleasantries and updated each other on how we have been since we left UPLB. We recalled our college life, our professors, the nice ones and the terror ones, where we hanged out, and our cheap thrills. Those brought back unforgettable memories of our youth, suggesting that our memory is not failing yet. We're all retired, except those who are in business, but we are definitely not tired.
Yes.
Let us continue our rekindled friendship as we anticipate and prepare for our Golden Jubilee in 2025, 5 years from now. Let us stay connected, as earlier suggested, by having Zoom meetings, though not as often, just to say hello. How have you been? It will be a lot of fun when we will have the opportunity to meet each other face to face. Hopefully, in the near future. Let us remain connected with our alma mater and be part of national development because we are a vital part of capital. Thanks again, everyone. Stay safe and well. Remember, we now belong to the more vulnerable sector. Enjoy the rest of the day or the evening. Salamat po.
Okay, thank you very much, Violi, and thank you, classmates, and thank you, audience, for your active participation. Maraming salamat. This is indeed a very memorable activity as part of the prelude activities prior to Loyalty Day celebration. So, magandang hapon sa atin lahat, o magandang umaga sa North America. Okay? At maraming salamat sa inyong partisipasyon. Thank you.
Ino, reminder about our meeting.
Okay, we can continue. We can continue now here.
Yeah, yung mga hindi batch 75 need not continue, but tayo ay pwedeng magpatuloy.
Okay. So nagpapasalamat tayo dun sa ating mga kaibigan na sumama sa ating webinar. Kung yung pong Class 75 ay magkakaroon pa po ng maikling pagpupulong bago kami magkahiwa-hiwalay. So pwede na po kayong, kung inyong nanaisin, mag-leave the meeting na po. Salamat po.
Ma-record ba itong ating, ano? Was this recorded?
I think so. I think yung sa ITC.
Tsaka may ano nga pala live streaming, ano? So ma-replay pa uli yan.
Yeah. So